Welcome to Microchip's briefing. The content of the briefing includes Indian state calls for Japanese chip and hydrogen investments. Taiwanese Tesla supplier Hoda retools supply chain with first U.S. factory. Bank of Korea to hold as investors look to 2024. Amazon cloud boss takes swipe at Microsoft over OpenAI turmoil. The Magnificent Seven, why the big stock mania is drawing comparisons to the dot-com bubble. Indian state calls for Japanese chip and hydrogen investments. Nikkei Asia. The Chief Minister of the Indian state of Gujarat, Bhupendrabhai Patel, has called on Japanese semiconductor companies to invest in the state. Patel stated that the Indian government already offers incentives to semiconductor manufacturers, and the government of Gujarat provides additional incentives. Micron Technology, an American semiconductor company, has already decided to invest in the state. Gujarat is expected to be the center of India's semiconductor industry. Patel called for Japanese engineers to come to Gujarat for technological collaboration in the hydrogen sector, as the production of green hydrogen is a policy priority for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Patel also called for Japanese automakers to accelerate the production of electric vehicles to help India achieve its goal of net zero emissions by 2070. Taiwanese Tesla supplier Hoda retools supply chain with first U.S. factory. Reuters. Taiwanese company Hoda Industrial is investing $99 million in a factory in New Mexico, its first outside of Asia. Hoda, which manufactures gears, shafts and other auto parts, has been forced to reconsider its reliance on Taiwan due to cost and supply chain security concerns. The new factory in the U.S. will allow Hoda to move closer to its North American customers, who currently account for 70% of its sales. Hoda's CEO, Holly Sheng, said the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act will help ease cost pressures as it incentivizes EV makers to source components domestically. Bank of Korea to hold as investors look to 2024. Bloomberg. The Bank of Korea, BOK, is expected to keep its benchmark interest rate steady at 3.5% this week, marking a full year of no change, as it awaits clear evidence that inflation is easing. Recent history suggests that the BOK typically changes direction during the second year of keeping rates on hold, leading some economists to predict a change in policy next year. The BOK is due to release fresh 2024 forecasts for growth and inflation after the rate decision, which will shape expectations of when easing might begin. Amazon cloud boss takes swipe at Microsoft over OpenAI turmoil. Financial Times. Amazon Web Services, AWS, has taken a swipe at Microsoft, one of its biggest rivals in cloud computing, following the recent turmoil at AI firm OpenAI, in which Microsoft is the largest investor. AWS CEO Adam Selipsky made the comments as the company announced new custom chips for servers and AI, as well as a new workplace AI assistant. Selipsky's comments were seen as a veiled reference to Microsoft's exclusive partnership with OpenAI. In response to Microsoft's relationship with OpenAI, AWS has sought to offer corporate customers access to alternative AI models and has invested up to $4 billion in rival firm Anthropic. The Magnificent Seven, why the big stock mania is drawing comparisons to the dot-com bubble. Yahoo! Analysts have said that the current tech bubble around AI stocks could be about to burst, with the likes of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon and Tesla among those at risk. The Magnificent Seven have seen their share prices rise by an average of 80% this year, but if they decline, millions of investors would be affected, said George Schulze, founder and managing member of Schulze Asset Management. The Magnificent Seven now have an average P/E ratio of more than 50, compared with 63 in the dot-com crash. Amazon introduces Q, an AI chatbot for companies. New York Times. Amazon has launched its own AI chatbot, Amazon Q, designed to help with workplace tasks such as summarizing strategy documents and answering questions about company policy. The service has been developed by Amazon Web Services and will compete with similar corporate chatbots such as Google's Duet AI and OpenAI's ChatGPT Enterprise. Amazon has been working to dispel the perception that it is behind in the AI race, having been quieter about its plans until more recently. Amazon Q will be built on the company's Bedrock platform, using its own AI system, Titan, as well as those from Anthropic and Meta. AWS reveals AI chatbot, chips, NVIDIA partnership with a Jensen Huang Cameo and OpenAI Dig. Yahoo! During its annual Re-Invent conference, Amazon Web Services, AWS, announced a range of AI-related enhancements including the first cloud-based AI supercomputer and NVIDIA's DGX Cloud. AWS also announced partnerships with Anthropic and Pfizer. This long-term focus is a good thing, said AWS CEO Adam Selipsky. It's the only predictable way to profoundly change what's possible. FTC notches legal win in privacy fight with Meta. Washington Post. A U.S. judge has rejected Meta's attempt to take the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, to court over its plans to ban the social media giant from monetizing children's data. The decision strengthens the FTC's ability to implement its proposed restrictions, which children's safety advocates say could serve as a template for regulating other tech giants. The FTC claims that Meta has violated the terms of a $5 billion settlement over the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Meta, formerly known as Facebook, has called the proposed restrictions a political stunt and accused the FTC of overstepping its authority. Meta said it is considering its options following the decision. Advocacy groups have called on the FTC to renew its privacy investigation into Google-owned YouTube and consider similar prohibitions against monetizing children's data. Amazon announces new cloud AI chip as competition with Microsoft intensifies. The Globe and Mail. Amazon Web Services, AWS, has revealed Trainium2, the second generation of its artificial intelligence, AI, chip designed for training AI systems. The chip is 4 times faster than its predecessor while being twice as energy efficient. The move comes after Microsoft announced its own AI chip, Maya, and will see AWS compete with Alphabet's Google, which has been offering its Tensor processing unit to cloud computing customers since 2018. AWS will begin offering Trainium2 next year. The company also announced Graviton4, its fourth custom central processor chip, which is 30% faster than its predecessor. Germany to override debt limit, again, to resolve budget crisis. New York Times. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has asked lawmakers to allow the government to surpass borrowing limits for a 4th year in a row, following a constitutional court ruling that triggered a budget crisis. The court ruling invalidated a special fund that was intended to finance environmental projects with credits initially approved to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Scholz's government needs to find a new way to balance the budget, including approving €45 billion, $49 billion, in fresh debt for 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Six, your favorite observer from the 6 Degrees universe, here to bring you the latest news and insights from around the world. Let's dive right in. In India, the state of Gujarat is calling on Japanese semiconductor companies to invest, as it aims to become the center of India's semiconductor industry. Additionally, Gujarat is seeking Japanese engineers for collaboration in the hydrogen sector, aligning with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's green hydrogen policy. Speaking of green initiatives, Patel also urged Japanese automakers to accelerate the production of electric vehicles to help India achieve its net zero emissions goal by 2070. It seems like Gujarat is going all out to attract Japanese investments and expertise. Meanwhile, Taiwanese company Hoda Industrial is retooling its supply chain by investing in its first factory outside of Asia, located in New Mexico, USA. This move will enable Hoda to be closer to its North American customers, who currently make up the majority of its sales. With the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act providing incentives for EV makers to source components domestically, Hoda is set to benefit from this strategic decision. Over in South Korea, the Bank of Korea, BOK, is expected to keep its benchmark interest rate steady for the entire year, as it waits for clear evidence of easing inflation. However, some economists predict a change in policy next year, as history shows the BOK often changes direction during the second year of keeping rates on hold. All eyes are on the BOK's 2024 forecasts for growth and inflation, which will shape expectations of future easing measures. In the world of cloud computing, Amazon Web Services, AWS, took a swipe at Microsoft over the recent turmoil at AI firm OpenAI, where Microsoft is the largest investor. AWS CEO Adam Selipsky announced new custom chips for servers and AI, as well as a new workplace AI assistant, as a veiled response to Microsoft's exclusive partnership with OpenAI. AWS is offering corporate customers access to alternative AI models and has invested in rival firm Anthropic. The competition between these cloud giants is heating up. Moving on to the stock market, analysts are comparing the current tech bubble to the dot-com bubble, with concerns that it could burst. The Magnificent Seven tech companies, including Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Tesla, have seen their share prices soar this year. However, if they were to decline, it could have a significant impact on millions of investors. Let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. Speaking of AI, Amazon has introduced its own AI chatbot, Amazon Q, designed to assist with workplace tasks. It will compete with similar chatbots from Google and OpenAI. Amazon has been working to dispel the notion that it is lagging behind in the AI race and is now making its mark with Amazon Q. It's time to let the AI chatbot revolution begin. In legal news, a U.S. judge has rejected Meta's attempt to take the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, to court over proposed restrictions on monetizing children's data. The decision strengthens the FTC's ability to regulate tech giants and could serve as a template for future regulations. Meta, formerly known as Facebook, has called the proposed restrictions a political stunt. It will be interesting to see how this battle unfolds. Lastly, Amazon Web Services, AWS, has announced its second-generation AI chip, Trainium 2, which is faster and more energy efficient than its predecessor. This move comes after Microsoft announced its own AI chip, Maya, intensifying the competition between these cloud computing giants. AWS is also offering its fourth custom central processor chip, Graviton 4, which promises increased speed. The race for AI dominance is heating up. That's all for today, folks. Remember, technology and finance are constantly evolving, so stay tuned for more exciting updates. Now, it's your turn. What are your thoughts on these latest developments? I'm all ears. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.